Hey everybody and welcome back to Igniskidd. Today we are looking at Crystrons in Master Duel, finally. Not the TCG version, because Konami has decided to limit shooting Riser Dragon, which is one of the many backbones of the deck, and without it it can't really function as well as it does in the Master Duel format. Bellbind, a pretty proficient Crystron player, you may have seen it in some Farfra and or MBT videos, has decided to kindly, on request, take some time out of his day to explain us how a Crystron deck works, why we play the cards we play, and how to play the deck in its entirety. So before you just skip this entire opening part and just copy paste the entire deck without really knowing what the hell is going on and why we play the cards we play and how we play the cards we play, please stay tuned for the next video. We go over some duels, over some of the general combo lines, and in this video just please watch the entirety, leave a sub, because yeah, moving ever closer to the 200. Throughout this entire video, we will be looking at each card one by one through the entire deck. We're looking at a more pure-ish version of the deck, mainly filled with dangers and Destrudo, to really give you an overview of what it's like to play Crystrons in Master Duel, current format. And so without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. Watch it in its entirety, because watch time gets rewarded here on YouTube. And yeah, have a good day. Let's head over the deck again. So I'm gonna just start from left to right, obviously. River, Amafodder. What do we use the Despot for?
Despot is for the Auradon, it's an additional tuner. You summon it with the Hulk, generally. You make Auradon with it. And, I mean, in general, you make Auradon with it. We'll go through, like, some exceptions later. But, yeah, it summons itself back once you summon Auradon. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Like, general, ye olde Despot Hulky.
In the graveyard. Destrudo is good in the graveyard. Snow is good in the graveyard. Yeah, and the dangers can be added to the hand, so it's all positives. You just want to not. I mean, you generally hit the. We can talk about case roller later. Let's keep going.
Okay, O-line, right. Also
yeah,
Master Duel staple for Speedroids, but what is its purpose in here?
We're summoning it from the Auradon in order to make the Axle Synchron most of the time. Sometimes in desperate situations you make a ruler with it because you couldn't have a ruler access before, but generally speaking it's going to be for the Axle Synchron.
Now Gamma, obviously, ye old Gamma hand trap, best trap for Synchro Deck space.
It's you have a lot of cards that special summon themselves. You generally start your turn with like Reveal Dangers, E-Telly, stuff like this, and if people have Maxi, they will use the Maxi then, and you just go, I'm going to Gamma. Crestron is a weird deck because you want to mill a lot of cards, and you want to hit good cards when you're milling, so you can't really play a lot of cards like Crossout. So you'd rather have things that that you can add to your hand, even if it's just as a discard fodder, and Gamma does that while also being a hand trap.
Yeah, and also one card chaos.
Yeah, it's also like a hand trap that doesn't get hit by Cold Bite, doesn't get hit by Crossout most of the time. Yeah, so it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, and really consistent too. Oh, the only small Crystron.
Yeah, the tuner, which we don't actually use often for its effects. It's mostly in case we want Crystrons to give us tuner access. Most of the synchro during your opponent's turn will be done with Axle Synchron and the Risers. The trick is there. Sometimes, like if you open like really, really well and you don't need to use it for the health, you can just use it to get a dragster. But other than that, yeah, you're not really making much use of it, other than just like it being a tuner you summon it to be able to make the call.
Alright, so then the card that possibly can get me banned on YouTube, Crystron Smyger.
Yeah, Crystron Smyger. It searches the best card in the deck, Crystron Impact, which summons the banished Crystron, and that generally is going to be Healthy type rats. And this is good is because the deck plays around Dark Ruler Droplet really well because of the impact. If they use Dark Ruler on you, you're going to summon the Hulk back from the banished, and you'll be able to still make plays.
Impact. How many times does the turn every defense of a face-up monster to 0 come up?
Not very often, unfortunately. Especially since we're not playing Amatrix. Generally, it was meant to go with the Crestron Synchro 5, which when it's summoned, it puts all your opponent's monsters in defense position, and then you use Impact, they have 0 defense, and then you beat over them. But there are better things to make than a Crestron Amatrix. Yeah. Your opponent's monsters will not be on the field to worry about their defense being 0, so...
True. I actually bridged into Dangerous 0 with Amatrix. It was a wild one. This turn.
This turn is the monster searcher. It's you want to mill this with the Chaos Ruler, or just sometimes you normal summon it. It searches the Faenir, which can get you additional bodies. Crystrons are just machine bodies that can also get you a tuner, and the tuner can also synchro summon during your opponent's turn. But the main advantage here is that a lot of the time, if your Hulk gets stopped in most other decks, you will be very sad because you don't have another machine to make the Auradon, and then you're stuck. Whereas in Crystron, you just summon like anything. If you have like normal summon Thistevern, or you just maybe mill it, and then you add a Sulfafnir, which summons a Rosenex, which is a machine, and then you make your Auradon, you're pretty much always able to play.
Yeah, once we get to Fafnir, which is basically past the Ash Blossoms and the Jackalopes, is
Ash
danger
Blossoms
packets.
are just Ash Blossoms, stops Maxi. It's the main use. We just play Maxi. It's a lot of variants, yeah. And it's a hand trap itself, so it's good. Play 2 Jackalope, 2 3 Shinoko. They're just bodies that mill a card. Not mill a card, they discard the card from your hand and draw a card. And most of the time that's free. If you discard this Thistevern, you discard Sulfafnir, discard Destrudo, discard another danger, it's really, really, really good. They're very good extenders. They're dark, so they can be added by the Chaos Ruler. Their bodies can use them for synchro summoning. It's just like overall extension.
Like overall good stuff.
Yeah.
Alright. Assault Beast coming with the Psy Reflector.
Assault Beast, it's just the Psy Reflector combo. Assault Beast and Assault Mode activate. The Reflector is going to summon the Beast as a level 7, and you make Chaos Ruler. That's
basically
the
good. Yeah. Oh, Fairy Tail Snow.
One of the most broken cards ever printed. And it banishes 7 cards from your graveyard, summons itself, and Cove Moon is a very good effect. You can do this multiple times because you summon it, and then you use it for as a synchro material, and then you summon it again, you use it as synchro material again, and you probably summon it again, depending on your hand. But yeah, it just makes the deck go around. Without this, the deck will be a lot weaker. It is one of the main interruption sources in the deck.
Like interruption sources, and also like get out of jail free cards.
Yeah. Also, like if you draw it, you can discard it. It's
true.
You normal summon it and maybe try like bait something. It's good. Rosenex is the generally you want either Rosenex or Smiger to be summoned from your Sulfafnir, just to either get the extra token, which is like a body. You can use it for Auradon. You can use it. Also helps like making the Trish 0 normal Trish, not Trish 0. Yeah, it helps with like some synchro plays. It's very important.
Right.
Sulfafnir. Yeah, this is the Crystron card that basically gets your engine going and your grind going. You discard the Crystron from your hand, summon this from either the hand or the graveyard, which is why it's good with Chaos Ruler again, and pops a card. Generally itself, when it's destroyed, it summons a monster from the deck. That's a lot of words to just say discard the Crystron, summon Crystron from the deck. That's it. That's what it does. It discards Crystron, summons Crystron from the deck, but it just has a convoluted thing where it summons itself and pops itself. And sometimes you do summon itself and pop something else for like some really weird plays where you need a level 5, but that almost never comes up, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so in the wise words of MBT, it reads like a custom card.
It is, yes, it does read like a custom card.
Yeah, so this is also a good time because we are through all the Crystrons to like introduce a bit of the Crystron gimmick. Obviously, most people know it either as a hard leg deck, as the deck that made Trish 0, or as the basically discard deck. But what else is like a core component of Crystrons that most people like overlook?
The main component of Crystron is obviously that you just synchro summon, but during your opponent's turn. The saying goes, your turn, our turn. We both play now. You keep your interruptions a secret from your opponent, basically. They see your board, it doesn't look like much, and then you start just applying a lot of pressure by banishing your opponent's monsters or summoning a negate. You'll be able to like do a lot. All of it is going to be during your opponent's turn. That's the main gimmick of Crystrons,
Crystrons, just to keep a veil over your plays. Especially in the best of 1 formats, it can lead to some pretty funny moments.
It's definitely it fits Master Duel quite well, where you can just start a game. You either like go first or second. This variant at least like go second, like well enough. I mean, if you're going against a combo deck, obviously it's a combo mirror. If you don't see a hand trap and they go first and they full combo, you're generally not going to break their board. But if it's a control versus combo, you can do a lot. You have your access code, Chaos Ruler, they're all
pretty good grind game too.
This variant specifically, you can play more impact for more grind game, but generally you don't want to see the impact in your hand, and a lot of the time if you're doing your combo you're going to win anyway. If you really like playing like a more grindy version, you can definitely like change the list a little bit. This is more of a make a really, really good turn 1 board. You still have a lot of grind, you still have a lot of follow-up, but it's definitely a lot less of what one would imagine a Crystron deck to be. Generally, Crystron is going to play like 3 impact or like 2 impact and do a lot of
This was
recursion.
more pure version of it, yeah.
Yeah, in a more pure version of it. But you know, the times proceed and the power creep happens, and then you're like, well, I need a bit more.
Yeah,
So
it's like in a state where it needs
Yeah.
one card to be printed that like brings it all together in this form.
To be fair, Crystron, one of the issues of Crystron is that it doesn't have any starter. Basically, consider it like Orcust,
Yep.
where but you don't have gear. So imagine if like Orcust was just like, you know, Orcust Nightmare, Orcust Skeleton, and just cards that you don't want to see in your hand. That's basically what Crystrons are. That's why you always need a lot of other enablers in your deck. So it's not the purest version, but we try to keep it at least in the spirit of Crystron, which is synchro summoning during opponent's turn. That's the goal of this deck, is to just synchro summon during your opponent's turn. So we'll be doing that a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you heard him, Konami. Girsu the Crystron Mech Knight when?
Yes, please, thank you.
Would be really fun. But yeah,
Oh yes.
we play ye olde progression staple, Destrudo.
Yep, Destrudo, a tuner, extender, dark for the Chaos Ruler. You can add it to your hand and then discard it and then summon it. You can just mill it. You can. It's a foolish flex thing where you can just use foolish to get a tuner. It's just overall good. I don't know. It's a broken card. I don't know why it also summons itself from the hand. It's just a tuner extender, but if you mill it, it's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of flexibility. It's just good and makes Riser Dragon. And
Also
then. Yeah.
Nessie, another danger, and well, for those who aren't familiar with dangers, if they get sent to the graveyard,
Yeah,
they do
if they
stuff.
get discarded to the graveyard, they have an effect. And their other effect is you reveal them in your hand, your opponent chooses a random card from your hand, gets discarded, you summon this, and then you draw a card. If it discards itself, you obviously don't summon it, but you get the other effect. The best thing about this card is it's a level 7. We want level 7s because we have a lot of level 1 tuners, and together they make Chaos Ruler. 1 plus 7 equals 8, I know. My brain is gargantuan. I play Synchro Decks.
Me too. We are the peak of human evolution. No. So for the last few, well, basically staples, we have our copy of Foolish. Doesn't need much explaining.
Snow, Faenir, Destrudo, Fistvern, Jet Synchron. You have a lot of choices.
Yeah, we have like everything available. The Smiker, basically everything that can get sent to the graveyard. This is our one-way ticket to it. Same as 1-for-1, but it's I think mostly used to cheat outs.
Definitely, yeah, mostly for Sky Reflector. It's the best thing that you can get out of it. And then
Italy
yeah,
again.
Teleport also for the Reflector.
Yeah, Sky Reflector, just like the only target.
Yeah, it's the only target.
Then obviously, at the anti-Maxi card.
I guess the emergency teleport can summon Gamma if you really want to.
Yeah, if you really want it on the field, but
level 2. Sometimes it will comes up, but
sometimes it's really funny to just, oh yeah, I synchro summon using Gamma. What? But then obviously we already went over the Assault on Activate and Impact. Now, for the juice, the extra deck.
Extra deck has 3 cards that synchro summon during opponent's turn, which are the Axel Synchron, and then 2 Riser Dragons. This is one of the cards I was happiest to ever see and read. Like when I read it the first time, I was like, no, this can't be real.
Konami was actually doing some good for once.
It has like the quick effect to synchro summon, and then it also like sends a card from your deck to your graveyard for whatever reason. Can use this. Oh, the turn 1 you use it to send Snow. Then during your opponent's turn you summon this and you send Fistvern, which you can use as follow up for after that. And it also has obviously the quick effect synchro, so it's just
obviously
really, really, really good for these types of decks. Konami, please give us 2 back in TCG. I need it. Thank you.
Konami, please. We don't want much.
I don't know why they hit 1. Like hit it to 1 does nothing to the actual meta decks. It only hurts Crystrons. I think this was a targeted attack against me.
What did you do? What did you do to them? Next up,
we have Insectron. Is this a change from the original list? I think it is, right?
I don't think so. I had it in there originally. Did I put anything else in there? 6?
Let me see your list of synchro monsters.
Sure.
We're going to edit the deck on
site immediately.
On the fly.
There we go. Level 6 is right.
Not necessarily level 6. No, we don't play any level 6 actually. I don't think we do. Oh, you have Baron, which can come up. But I'm trying to remember what was there originally. I actually... For now, let's place a Baron.
Yeah.
There is generally one flex spot in the entire deck,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think
going
when
to
we
be...
made it, when we first made this entire deck, it was pre-synchro event, so Baron wasn't up.
Yeah, Baron wasn't out yet. I know I had like something else there. I don't remember what it was in my original list,
Was
but
it
this
a
works. Baron didn't work.
an Omega or a Zeta?
I don't think it was Omega or Zeta. Maybe it was another 7. It might have been Moonlight Dragon. Yeah, you don't own it. You don't need to craft
Yeah, I
it.
don't have
You are
it.
so much. Let's stick with the Baron. Yeah.
Right. No Kendama. Or
Yeah, nothing
Chamba.
bad
Oh.
would ever happen. Surely we
Yeah,
would not encounter a time where we need a level 7 in our combo.
Yeah,
I
imagine.
believe.
Well, no, Chambara's a 5, so...
Chambara is a 5, yeah.
which would be really funny. Imagine having like a Danger on the field, E-tally out the Gamma and
It
just
used to be
Chambara
like
twice
a-
for game.
Yeah, it used to be like always played in Crystron. It's like the best 5 machine that you can make. That or Amitrix. But
Yeah.
generally Chambara is like was more utility. The good old times.
I like Chambara. It's the most
It's fun,
anime
yeah.
thing you can get from a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's a sword piloted by a dude.
It
Having
is.
2 swords for hands. Yeah, now that we put the Baron in, Baron probably doesn't need an introduction on my channel. But yeah,
Okay.
don't Dragster.
Dragster. The most important effect of Dragster is obviously it does piercing damage. It's really good for closing game. No, I'm just kidding. It's a spell trap negate.
Yeah, it's just a spell trap thing.
It happens to also have like piercing damage in case your opponent has a crooked cook and you want to out it.
Yeah.
Not out it
Well,
in
not
the
out
game. Just remember it has piercing damage.
Yeah.
Comes up.
Comes up every now and then. The coolest thing is that I've been a pretty big fan of like like underdog decks, or like decks that are quite a bit janky, like pre-support Synchron, FAs, UAs, Ancient Warriors, which I've been playing a lot in the new event, but that has ended by now. And yeah, it's like FA is such a cool archetype in what it tries to do. It's just like, don't you know, pump it up. Please don't copyright strike me. And
I'm
what is
I was
like,
just going to comment on FA cards.
Yeah.
Just like I'm just sad that some of them are just like floodgates, but because
Yeah.
the gimmick is cool, like a Synchro Summon archetype that has like level increasing things, gets stronger over time. But you know, summon
yeah, and
Hang
with
on Mac,
Hang on
Macro
Mac.
Cosmos, unaffected, and then just yep.
Yeah, it's
I
like
win.
Hang on Mark
Like, I
plus Whip Crosser, and they have to pay for effects in advance.
Yeah. it's,
I've always looked at Whip Crosser as like a funny machine. By default, if they want to activate a hand trap, they have to pay for it. But yeah, moving
oh
on.
yeah, I love points.
Obviously, Yieldy Boy Ruler.
Yep, Chaos Ruler, good card, mill 5. Most of your deck is just darks or good mills. Crystrons are good in the graveyard, darks are good in your hand. Just use it and you get a lot of value.
Worst case
That's
scenario, you mill the O line, you get a token.
Yeah, there are a lot of bricks that you might mill, and that they change the combo a lot. So depending on how comfortable you feel like while playing the deck, you might want to add like a second O-Lion, maybe a second Jet Synchron, just to like have more,
more consistency.
options. And like it's more about like not needing to worry too much about like the combo lines, because once you mill one of the like pieces, which is likely, your combo line will change, and you'll have to like think depending on your hand, because it can get complicated.
So should I
That's
just add
the
a
possibility.
second Jet and O line just to make it a nice 45?
Oh no, we're playing like this. It's going to be amazing.
Alright, well, now to the funny card.
Now the interruption cards.
Yeah.
There's Trishula, banishes. I don't think this needs an introduction. It's a classic
It's-
card.
it's
You banish
Trishula.
one from field, hand, graveyard. And then you have Hot Red, which is a negate. You have Baron, which is a negate. You have Trish 0, which banishes 3, all from the field. This is what you use against back row decks. They set like 5 cards, you banish 3 of them, and then you banish maybe another one with negate, depending on your hand.
Then they try to strike it and you bring out Big Trish.
Hopefully they don't strike it at the summon, because if
Yeah.
they do, we will not get...
Yeah, we will not get the effect.
But
Now-
they can strike it because it's an effect that do synchro summon, yeah.
Yeah.
Hulk.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about this card. It's not very important in the deck. It's like
Yeah,
let's go.
it's not even a
Phoenix.
Crystron card. It's like just a staple. It doesn't get 300 attack points off of Crystronic potential. No, it does.
This is a it does, yes. Oh, Crystalic potential. That's not a Crystron card. This one has a. We generally Crystron players, we don't like linking off the Hulk, but we redeem ourselves by banishing it. We say that Hulk belongs either in the field or in the banished pile. That's where you want it, because Impact summons it from the banished pile. And that's why we play Snow. So generally the main line of the deck is you make Hulk, you summon 001, you make Aurodon, and then Aurodon makes Riser, dumps Snow, and then Snow will to be able to get it back with the Impact.
Yeah,
The
main
thing to
line.
keep in mind. Yeah, that's what we're trying to go for. And then Hulk obviously has a second effect, which summons a Riser from your extra deck.
Basically.
Riser is a very good card. We already talked about that.
It is. Now, for the, I will say tech options, well, Auroradon is also well known here, but make
Yes.
3 tokens, get back 0/0/1, make Axel. But for those who don't know, Nightmare Phoenix.
Discards a card, targets a spell, trap your opponent controls, and destroys it. It's just for
That's
board
it.
breaking, you want to out cards. Yeah.
And if by some miraculous reason you have it co-linked, you can draw a card.
With Borg Blocker, potentially. I don't know
Yeah.
why you would make Borg Blocker, but you know, you
Yeah.
need the card. Borg Blocker is, it just says, if you have 2 monsters that are not machines, they are now machines. It's just like an Auroradon card.
Basically.
Because, yeah, like sometimes your Hulk gets ogred or something, and you want to like, maybe sometimes you want to turn your Chaos Ruler into a machine, because after you make it, you want to go into Auroradon. This is what you go for. You just make a Barricade Borg Blocker. It's a machine. It's really useful. It's especially useful when you, what's it called? When you mill your Impact with the Chaos Ruler, which happens a lot. And when you mill the Impact, you can't get the Hulk back, which means that you want to keep the Hulk on the field, which means you want to make Hulk and then Auroradon enter the Hulk. That's when Barricade comes in, because it's a machine. Yeah, very useful.
Now, Unicorn.
Unicorn is like Phoenix. It's like Phoenix. You discard a card, but you target any card, not only spells. Or
And instead of
traps.
destroying it, you spin it. If you ever worry about Waking the Dragon, this is your out. I don't know why this card would need an introduction.
Yeah, this kills your opponent. That's it.
Yeah, it's your win condition. So, for those who don't know, quick rundown. If you make it, target the link monster in your grave. It gains attack equal to the monster's link rating times 1000. And you can banish a link monster from your field or graveyard and destroy any card your opponent controls, and your opponent can't activate any cards or effects in response to this card's activation. It's a good card, Smile.
Yes, it is a good card.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive IRL, so if you have one and you want to give it away for cheap, I'm listening. Okay, now, enough with deck profiling and on-the-fly deck editing. Let's do some games, shall we?